chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC Championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. But we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. But we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe Roger to go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Salmon Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to...
Welcome to another episode of Bengals and Brews. I'm Del Altman, joined by Pork Chop and BSG this morning. But you're not here for us. You're here for this guy. Man, the great Gary Owen. What's up, my man?
Boom.
What's up, guys?
Man?
You are in enemy territory this morning, correct?
I'm in Buffalo.
Yeah. So Gary's on tour in Buffalo. How's that going so far? You got a couple more nights there?
I got 2 shows tonight, 1 tomorrow. They're it's I think we're like, it's our sister brother fan base because we're such kindred spirits.
Oh yeah.
Dalton hitting Tyler Boyd to send them to the playoffs 5-6 years ago, and then the DeMar Hamlin thing.
Right.
So what I like about Buffalo though is like, now that DeMar's okay, I was like talking about him last night. I go, oh, okay, they're open to it. Because I go, when was the right time to ask for my money back? For that game?
No shit. Yeah. No shit, man.
Man, that was the weirdest game. Were you at that one?
Yeah. That I tell people, like, one, I never heard the stadium that loud.
Same.
We went down and scored, and then I never seen a stadium get that quiet that fast.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yes. And it was the strangest.
And then everybody left. Everybody was just walking to their cars. Like nobody was talking.
Well, how long did you stay?
We stayed till the game was called, and then we stayed probably 20 minutes after.
Man, they came and told me to get the fuck out. I stayed for so goddamn long. I was just chilling. Yeah, they came and told the staff came and said, you guys got to go. And I'm like, oh, so I guess there's no game, huh?
Yeah.
I went.
Who knew?
Yeah, I stayed till the announcement. We went back. We had a hotel because I'm 2 hours away. So, like, we were just staying, a lot closer instead of driving all the way back at night. And, like, we got back to the hotel and, like, had all this alcohol. And, like, we just sat there and just kind of watched the coverage. It was just awkward. Like,
I know.
I was like, this shit's just weird. I just went to bed. I was like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I was just in shock. That's why I just sat there in the seats. I'm just like in shock. Like, what the hell's going on? It's crazy.
I had coworkers texting me the entire time. Oh, the game's ended. So right when I got to leave, that's when it got announced. And just a very.
Yeah, but he's good. So
he's good. He's playing.
So now Gary can make jokes about
it. Hey, they might even just keep him on the team because they feel bad to get rid of his ass.
I'm saying, like, how do you cut him?
That guy's for life, man. Yeah, he can't be cut. Hey, I'll tell you what, though, man. So you're right. Like, the two cities were like brotherly love. The Bengals and the Bills. Everybody gets along, and then we go up there and we fucking beat them. And Twitter turned on us. Those Bills fans that said we're all friends, man. We love you, Bengals fans. If it ain't us, it's you. Man, they come out every day.
For the fucking Chiefs the next week.
Yes. Right.
Well, I drove up for that game, and I was like, the Bills fans I ran into, I never seen that many friendly fans.
Yes.
They were not. Even the cops. I'll tell you what's funny. So, if you've never been to Buffalo Stadium, it's just in a neighborhood. It's not. It doesn't sit by itself. It's not downtown. It's literally in a neighborhood. And then I was sitting on the corner, and one of the cops goes, "Hey, you want to back off? You want to back up off the corner? Your team's coming." And I looked, and I could see the buses coming down the road. So I'm bingled out all by myself, surrounded by Bills fans, and the buses came by, and of course I'm being obnoxious. I'm like, ah! And you never think, you wonder, like, are the guys looking out the window? Zach Taylor texts me, "I see you holding that corner down."
Oh shit! Yes,
don't you gotta get ready for the game?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So that was one of the questions I had. Did you get to go to any playoff games? So you went to the Buffalo, and did you make it to then for the Kansas City as well?
Went to Kansas City. It's crazy how things happen in my world. So there's a guy named Paris Johnson Jr. He was the number 6 pick for Arizona this year from Ohio State. He's a Cincinnati kid.
Oh yeah.
He grew up with my kids, so they went to school together, and so he invited me to go to the draft. And so when he invited me to go to the draft, he got me in contact with his agent and to coordinate, because I didn't want to bother him on draft day, like, where do I go and everything like that. So his agent is Travis Kelce's agent. And so through that contact with Paris, Travis was nice enough to let me sit in his suite, even though he knew I was rooting for the Bengals. But, Travis has a big Cincinnati connection. He's a UC kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
right.
there were so many people from Cincinnati in the suite. And I was like, yo, this is like because he had a lot of his college teammates there. So I was like, it was weird. Like, they was almost like they was giving me shit, but not too bad. They go, we get it. We were Cincinnati. So it was cool because that game was so cold. I don't know if I could have made it.
No shit. That's what I heard, man.
Now, how were Chiefs fans good to you at all, or was that a different
He's
story?
in the damn suite. He had it made, Greg.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't have to deal with the derelicts.
I know some of them. You're right.
Yeah. But that was a heartbreak, because I was in Minnesota that weekend and I canceled my Sunday show. And I said, I called the club. I said, hey, can we do Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Because I don't want to be here Sunday. I want to go to the game. And luckily, it's a short flight from Minnesota to Kansas City. So we got in and everything worked out. Here's the problem with playoff cities. Once that playoff game gets there, they jack those hotel prices up so much.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God, dude. You're at La Quinta for like $500.
I mean, I was looking at out there in Vegas in February for a hotel, man. Like Days Inn's like $450 fucking dollars. It's crazy.
Yep.
Imagine as it gets closer, it's gonna be triple.
Right. Yeah.
For fucking Days Inn.
$450 for a Days Inn.
I mean, look at, if you get online right now, go to Marriott, go to Hilton, go to Cincinnati for the Monday night game against the Rams. It's the same thing. Everybody's $400 or $500.
Shit, I'm gonna rent out my garage then. I'll throw a cot out there or something.
Dude, Ubering from a hotel to the stadium's like $60, I hear, from downtown also. So
Greg, you got extra bedroom upstairs, man. Board it out for that game.
Yep.
Wow.
Airbnb it.
Yeah.
Make some money. Yeah, you mentioned being at the draft. So just mentioning the draft, did you have a favorite Bengals draft pick so far that you kind of liked watching in preseason or anything?
That kid from Hawaii.
Man, you're gonna get Greg excited.
Greg's gonna take his damn shirt off. Greg takes his damn shirt off talking about Splash all the time.
No. So to see him in person, and then to you give somebody dap and give him love. I mean, it's just lat.
He's
just a walking muscle, and he's big. I didn't know how big that guy was.
It's
Like
6'3".
Charlie Jones was smaller than I thought,
Yeah.
and that is bigger than I thought. I was like, whoa, those two stand next to each other. It's literally like that much different. So I think they got a diamond in the rough there, a steal.
Oh yeah.
For sure. And then with Yoshi, Greg's favorite player. I like him. I don't know about Miles Murphy. What was your thoughts on him? I think he's going to take a little while.
I think that was a depth pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
That wasn't. I don't think that was anything like they're expecting him to like be gangbusters, but I think it's more about depth.
Yeah.
I thought it was like the Dax Hill pick, right?
Yeah.
Bring him up, teach him,
But then they extended Trey, so that was the good thing. I was afraid that was kind of the writing on the wall for Trey, but they added another year to his contract, so that's awesome. You went down and got to talk to these guys. Who was fun to kind of roast.
Oh, yeah.
And have you done that before? I know T-Row does it a lot with Pittsburgh, but
yeah, I've done I've done Houston, Pittsburgh, the Ravens, the Dolphins. And that's how I did it, because Zach Taylor was a quarterbacks coach with the Dolphins. And back in 2014, I roasted the Dolphins. But this year, I don't know what happened. Like, I got everything in my head I wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah.
So then I get up there, and I'm up there about 10 minutes, and I got on to Coach Taylor a little bit. I said, Coach Taylor asked me to come talk to you guys, and I've always trusted him until Burrow's calf got hurt. And when he said, yeah, it's football, one guy goes down, next guy steps up, I go, oh, he's a liar. He's a liar. I said, I'm not a proponent to call women a bitch. I said, but when that female reporter said, how's Joe Burrow? I'd have been like, bitch, is you crazy? It's Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
we're fucked if he goes down.
No, it ain't the same, man. All of our jobs are on the line here.
Yes, that's right.
So I got on him a little bit. I got on Evan McPherson a little bit. And then I don't know what happened, man. I just started, I did on my Instagram. I started talking about my brother, because I said, I think you guys get so encapsulated in the building during the season, and you don't realize what you do for people outside of this. I said, because you get caught up in like social media with how much money they make or the stats. I said, but and this is a true story. Like, my brother passed away of a heroin overdose in 2015. And every time he would OD, my mom would call, and I'd fly home, or I'd drive up to see him. He lived in Oxford. And you're talking to him, but it's not him. You're getting a version of him. And then, but I said, man, when I would bring up football, I said, in particular Bengals football, and same thing we're talking about. What draft pick you like? What do you think of this guy? I said, I had him. I had my brother back for about 10, 15 minutes, and we were just talking. And I go, so I said, you guys weren't part of those teams, but you're part of this team. So you are doing that for people out there right now. You don't even realize it. There's a father, son, a grandparent, a daughter. I said, you don't even know. So I just told him, I said, thank you guys for doing that for people. I said, because I think you guys don't hear it enough, because you are an escape, and you do like bond people together.
Yes.
But normally wouldn't, probably.
Yeah, us three.
Yep.
Us three right here. The only reason we even met is because of that football team that we got here in Cincinnati.
It's true.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you sharing that story. I did see it on your Instagram. I know it kind of went around, and a lot of Bengals fans, because I think most people can relate, especially in Ohio. We've had a huge drug problem here for quite a while. So, I mean, I do appreciate you sharing that story, because I think everybody can relate to it. And I mean, it is. It bonds people, brings people together. It's like a big family, as fan base is. So,
yes,
I'm very appreciative of the people I have.
The coolest thing that happened afterwards, though, because when I said, thank you guys, I was like, man, Zach hired me to roast him, and I kind of went left on it,
Yeah.
And Orlando Brown Jr., the new lineman, he texted me, and I don't know how he got my number. He literally texts me. I'm looking at it like, who is this? And he goes, yo, D, this Orlando Brown. And he goes, appreciate you opening your heart like that. He goes, it hit home with a lot of guys. And then he said, you was coming in hot with the Mixon joke, though, because as soon as I got up there, Mixon had been in court all day.
No.
I looked at this, I said, Joe, you made it. I didn't think you were going to be here.
Should have told him to spit his gum out too, man. I don't know. I thought he was in trouble when I seen that clip of that judge. She's like, spit your gum out.
I thought he was going to go to jail for 25 to life when she told him to spit that gum out.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit. He's
you know what's cool? Being behind the scenes like that. We get so caught up in reading the newspaper articles and the internet. But when I guess Joe just showed up, and Zach hadn't got a chance to talk to him yet. So then after I got done with the roast, I looked over and I saw Joe and Zach in the corner talking. They were clearly talking about his court case and stuff. And I said, oh, okay. So we're going on speculation where Zach is dealing with Joe on a day-to-day basis. So remember, I remember on the offseason, everybody thought Joe's gone. Like, he's gone, man. He's in all this trouble and stuff like that. And I was like, but we don't know what's going on. We don't know the conversations him and Zach's having. And you could tell when they were talking, I was like, I said, he ain't going nowhere. I could just tell the way he would have to really mess up to not be on this team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
he's a captain. He's a captain for a reason, the guys love him. He's loved here. The coaches trust him. Like, he's got a lot of love and trust in that locker room. Now, and you guys personally, you share the whole birthday. We had Joey Cook on last week, so that helps put on that event. So how was the birthday party for you guys this year?
It was good, man. It was good.
It's
From
good.
what I remember, it was
You remember.
I guess it's funny. You do. This is the second year we've done the birthday parties because me and Joe, our birthdays are 2 days apart, and it's funny because both years the rumor was Burrow was going to show up. They go, Burrow might come through, and I said, no, he ain't. No, he ain't. And I said, and if he does, don't let him in. I was like, I don't want my quarterback going out. I don't want him at some party.
Right.
No.
Right.
I was like, that dude ain't going out. Are you crazy? So now it's just fun. It's just fun to hang out. And the wide receivers are the funny ones, like Boyd, Higgins, and Chase. Like, they're really boys. Like, you could tell it's like hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said they didn't want to leave. Like, they wanted to give him more money to keep the event going. And they're like, we can't do that.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that a couple times happen with those guys. I mean, there was the Monday night game last year against the Dolphins. It was the same thing. That club Gala downtown that shut down. That's where all the players went after the game because it's right there by the stadium. And they was like, "Nah, we're closing." And it was like 1 a.m. And I was already tipsy, so I got on the mic and I was like, I'm start chanting, one more song, one more song.
Did it work?
No. There's like, no.
Get the hell out of here, Gary. You take all the players, get the hell out.
Yep.
All right, we got a game Sunday, man. I'm excited for football being back. We play the team up north, the Cleveland Browns, the Clowns. The fans are crazy. Do you have any experiences with them or their fans?
The Elves.
Funny stories. The Elves, yeah.
The Elves.
I got it was the Carson Palmer days. That's what I remember. We went up there. It was week 1 or week 2. Might have been week 2, and we were favored and we lost. It was a shootout. It was back and forth.
Right.
What was that? 07 maybe, something like that? 06, 07.
Is that when the Browns had Jamal Lewis?
Maybe. I thought it was back and forth, man.
Yes.
And I was like, we thought we were going to blow them out. And I knew we were in trouble when we went down and scored. And I remember I was with like 4 Bengal fans, and we all looked at each other. We high-fived, like a confident high-five, like, expect it. And then the Browns went down and scored. And I went, oh, shit. And then they like blocked the punt, or there was an interception. I go, oh, this is about to be a game. You could tell the energy moved in the stadium.
Yeah.
And so we lost. Now we're walking out. And this one guy at a left field, and he goes, hey, man, you hitting on my wife? And I looked at him. I didn't even know who his wife is. And I looked at him. And then I looked at his wife, and I went, you're giving yourself a little too much credit right now.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I don't think he knew how to take it. And I just kind of faded away. I stopped walking and just let him go. What is
You're right.
I figured he might have started barking, man. That's the shit that drives me crazy.
Right.
Even when they come here to Cincinnati, it's like they just bark. They're barking all the time. I'm like, what are you barking about? Like, stop.
Yeah.
The game hasn't even started. Just calm down.
God, how lucky are we that we weren't born in fucking Cleveland? Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I
Those
can't.
fuckers don't even know. They're walking around Cleveland thinking they're normal, but they're not. They're the shit stain.
Yeah, I would. That right now, that's the most frustrating fan base. Because now the Lions are winning, so
Yeah,
they're not frustrated.
Nope.
It's like, man, Cleveland just can't get over the. I hope it ain't this year.
God, no.
We don't know what to expect. That's the one team is like the question mark is Cleveland.
Yeah.
Because they got some players.
Yeah, they
It's just
do.
like, why can't they put it together? Yeah, it's gonna be
I think the
interesting.
question is Watson going to come out and play like he did 4 years ago, or is he going to come out and play like he played those last 6 games last year?
I don't know.
I
didn't
hope
see
he
it last
sucks.
year. Yeah, I didn't see the Houston Texans Deshaun last year. We'll see.
No,
I agree.
I don't see him really getting better from what he was doing last year, to be honest. I mean, the guy was out of football for like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, you got a question? We're keeping you quiet over there.
No, it's okay. No, Gary, how many times have we seen the Browns are the offseason winners? How many off seasons in a row have they been the offseason winners?
Right.
I know, right? They've had some big
right?
signings. I mean, people forget when they got Odell Beckham, they thought that was it. That was like when we got T.O. We thought that was it.
Oh, God.
Little did we know T.O. was going to lead to Andy Dalton and A.J. Green.
Right.
Yeah. That is exactly what I'm saying. I've been preaching that everything that we've went to up till now, all the way back from when this franchise started up until now, has led us to where we're at right fucking now. It's like destiny. Like, we had to put up with a lot of shit, man, but it brought us Joe Burrow.
Yes.
This guy, look, see him?
How about that year before we got Burrow? Remember that Dolphins game?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, our offense finally start clicking. I go, no, not now.
What are we doing? Tyler Eifert's just dominating, catching balls, like 50-50 balls.
Well, remember when Boyd was down? Remember when Boyd was down before the game ended? I'm like, Boyd, stay down. Just stay down. The game's going to end. Just stay down. He gets up and walks off, and we throw that Hail Mary into Tyler Eifert for a touchdown. I'm like, no, this isn't happening.
I was shaking my head. I was like, I wanted us to always be down by like 14. Like, you want to root for the offense. We're like, God, what are we doing here?
It worked out because it was an incredible game, and we lost closely and still got Joe Burrow. But man, we were all. I never wanted to lose so bad, being like, you don't understand what this means, people.
You don't at all. It's funny too, like watching that Detroit game the other night against Kansas City, and people forget the big debate was Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell.
Yep.
And I know Jamar's the splash, but boy, that worked out for both teams.
Yes.
Because that Penny's a monster.
Yeah. No kidding.
There. So
man, if we would have won that game against the Dolphins, you think we would have picked Tua?
God, or Herbert. Maybe.
I think we would have picked Herbert.
We coached the Senior Bowls, so
probably picked Herbert. So
I liked Herbert that year, but I feel like Herbert's going to be like the Andy Dalton out there. You know, he's going to be good enough, get him in the playoffs, but he's not going to make a big push.
He's not Joe Burrow.
He's not Joe Burrow. That's
who
right.
Have you asked for a loan yet? The 5
Nobody.
years, $275 million extension, Gary. Obviously, well-deserved, right? I mean, it's not our money, but damn, pay him whatever he wants. Give him some ownership. We don't care. It's Joe Burrow.
I mean, look at it. We don't have the bubble without him. It's not Paycor Stadium without him.
No.
Well, on the other side of the thing, those hotels ain't $500 for the Monday night game without him.
That's right.
Parking's not $70 a game. You park for $10-$20.
Yeah. It's rare you see a guy sign for that much money and there's no pushback from the fan base. There's the hardcore fans, there's nobody going, well, now he's not going to have enough money for this guy or this guy. We're like, good, and let's work on the other guys, but good.
I think we would have been okay if he had got $60 million a year. I think the fans would have been okay with it.
Yes,
I would have.
I didn't care what they paid him. He deserves it, and he's gonna. The salary cap goes up every year. It's gonna look like a steal here in a year or two.
Well, let me tell you something. I guarantee you, there's like I've said it. There's some little white guy at Ball State right now that has no idea he's gonna be his number 3 receiver in a couple years.
Right.
He makes everybody look good.
Yeah. That's what especially he's like a tight end factory, man. Like, come to Cincinnati if you want to get the bag.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow will make you famous.
Yep.
He will make you famous, and you will get a 3-year contract with some other team for $20-something million.
Yep.
He did it for Uzomah. He did it for
Hurst and Irv Smith now. He was
up next.
And it's funny, the guys aren't even like coming up with other reasons like, no, Burrow. I came here for Burrow. It's not Bengals.
Yeah, exactly.
I want Burrow to throw me the ball. You know what I mean?
Cincinnati nightlife. Gary Owen comes into town and we have a ball and the clubs close at 1. Can't get one last damn song. Don't come here for that.
It reminds me of when Jordan was with the Bulls and all those guys, Luke Longley, B.J. Armstrong, and they all signed with other teams for all this money and never did anything.
Never heard from them again.
Exactly. Like Burrow, like you said, with the tight end. He's making all these guys so much money, and they know. They're like, the linemen know it. Everybody knows it. Like, dude, if you can keep that guy upright,
look Orlando Brown, man, said that he got more money. He was offered more money from the Jets, but he wanted to come here because he liked our situation with the quarterback and thought we're set up,
Yep.
And all he's done is win. Like Orlando Brown, all he's done is win. He wants to keep winning. He wants to be a Hall of Famer. Like that's his aspiration. So he wants to be on a winner.
Yep.
And that's us now, baby.
That's it.
Yes.
That's us. That's my dude.
And he said,
right
he goes,
here.
you know, but didn't he say, like, I enjoyed blocking for Mahomes, but you got to hold your blocks. With Burrow, you
Right.
know that ball's out in 3 seconds.
Yep.
It makes their job easier. I talked to a couple wide receivers, and I asked them, I said, do you prefer a running quarterback or a just pocket passer? And without question, they all was like, pocket. They go, the running quarterbacks are great. He goes, but man, you be running your route and they don't get to the third
Right.
progression. It's like, if you're not option 1 or option 2, option 3 is not getting the ball.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, dude, this sucks. It's great for certain situations, but you're just like, man, it's hard to, like, mentally, I could see that staying in the game. If you like, man, I'm not getting the ball. I'm the third option.
Right.
With Burrow, everybody's running their routes.
Yes.
Because you're like, oh, he's going to give me the ball.
And he's hitting them right exactly where they're supposed to be hit on their route.
Yeah.
On a dime.
Yep.
Man, that guy.
I'll tell you a funny story after the roast. So I'm leaving. I'm walking to the locker room, and Burrow slaps me on the shoulder, and it was literally like your emblem right there. It was like Jesus. I literally started glowing.
Yeah.
And I posted that pic of me and him after he signed the contract. I was holding it for the season, but I go, ooh, this is the perfect time to post it. But I've heard he's like Rain Man when it comes to football. I heard this dude corrected me about a 2014 high school game.
Holy
and I went,
shit.
I looked, I said, oh, you really like that? So I said, he went to Athens High School, and where I grew up, where I went to high school in Oxford, Ohio, you got Miami of Ohio and you got Ohio U. So those schools in the districts are very similar because you have a bunch of broke kids, but then you got kids whose parents work for the university. So there's very much a very class issue right there. So there's no like middle of the road. It's either real broke or you're doing pretty good.
It's like Kenwood Mall.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yes.
More like Tri-County before.
Tri-County. Yeah.
But I said, yo, I was like, hey, your senior year of high school, you was at Athens High, Division III. I said, in my alma mater, Talawanda was Division III. I said, we went to the playoffs. I said, if we would have won one more game, we would have ended up playing you in the playoffs. And he went, well, because we played Akron Vincent St. Mary in the state finals. Who did you guys play? And I said, we played Wapakoneta, and then we would have played you guys, and he goes, no, you had to win 2 more games. You had to beat Troutwood Madison. Because we played Troutwood Madison. And I go, oh, my God. I said, I've been wrong all these years. I've been saying 1 more game. We had to win 2 more games. But the fact that he corrected me, he goes, no, we played Troutwood Madison. You would have had to beat them. I go, dang. I was like, but it just rolled off like, yeah. No, that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah,
but it was
he's
cool.
Not had anything happen since then in his life either,
Right.
That
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Nothing memorable.
But here's where he made me feel old. So I was telling him a story about Ohio U, and I go, yeah, I got kicked out of a bar there years ago called the Pub. And I go, all I remember was the cops came and they came riding up on horses. And he goes, yeah. He goes, a guy I went to high school with, he got suspended from the team because he got drunk and punched one of the horses. I said, ooh, he's like Mongo from Blazing Saddles. He looked at me with a blank stare, and I go,
right.
You mean Blazing Saddles? He goes, he literally goes, yeah, I'm a lot younger than you.
Yeah.
I said, bro, anything else? Go see Blazing Saddles.
It's a classic.
No, he blank stared me. What? I was like, oh, I didn't realize we were that much of a difference in age. Sorry about that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's like, Dad?
Yeah, there you go.
I know, right? Well, that part.
I was going to ask, because we didn't get to it the last time we had you on. We were being drunk fools and didn't get a lot of football. But I don't think we asked you last time. Who's your all-time favorite Bengals player?
Who?
And there might be a couple,
This may sound, it's hard to have one, but
Yeah.
I honestly probably, I know it's going to sound crazy, but Thomas Howard, because he only played with us for 2 years. He got hurt, so we only played one. He died in a car accident leaving my show.
Oh.
And so my relationship with Thomas happened because when he signed with the Bengals from the Raiders, Kirk Morrison, I was friends with him. So Kirk and Thomas got drafted together. They were like the linebackers in Oakland for a couple years. So he texted me, he goes, my boy just got traded to Cincy. He goes, he wants to go to your show tonight. And I said, yeah. So that's where we met. So that 2011 season, Thomas's daughter is the same age as my daughter. We got so cool, they would take my daughter to every game, even if I was out of town.
That's awesome.
So she would go stay with him. He stayed right there at the Banks downtown. And he'd always come to the house, and they'd bring her home after the game if I was out of town, and then we'd go to the game. So that season was just special to me because, one, we won unexpectedly. We went to the playoffs. We were supposed to be terrible. That was Dalton's rookie year and AJ's rookie year. And then just for my daughter's sake, we got to go to a bunch of games together. And it was just cool because then she had a playmate at the game, his daughter. So then the next year he tore his ACL in the preseason, and a lot of people don't know that. If he don't tear his ACL, we don't know what happens with Vontaze Burfict because he was undrafted.
Yeah.
And Thomas took him under his wing his first year. And if Thomas doesn't get hurt, who knows if Vontaze even gets on the field. So that could have changed everything right there. But so he tore his ACL, then he got signed with Atlanta, and then he got cut in 2013. So I was in San Francisco, and after my show, I just went to some spot, and I saw Thomas. I said, what are you doing? I thought you signed with Atlanta. He goes, they just released me. And he was like, I'm cool, though. He goes, I got paid for the year. He goes, I'm probably just going to go into coaching and figure it out. He said, so. But he was good, and then he came to my show, and he left my show, and I walked into his car, and then the next morning I got a 5 a.m. I'm up at like 4 or 5 a.m. I got a 6 a.m. flight. So I take off for 5 hours and fly from San Francisco to Cincinnati. When I land, I got a bunch of text messages, and my phone's blowing up. Like, what is going on? Well, Thomas's last tweet was at my boy Gary Owen show. And we got in a car wreck on the way home, and 2 people died in the car wreck. So everybody thought I was in the car with them. Damn. So everybody thought, I was like, what is going on? And then that's when I found I had the car wreck, and I was like, oh my God. So then I was filming my special the next weekend in Atlanta, and I remember I left that morning to fly to Oakland to go to his funeral. I spoke at the funeral and then got on a plane, come back to Atlanta. And when I filmed that special, I just got off the plane. I was on fumes. It was like boom, boom, because you're going across the country losing those hours. But I remember when I showed up at the funeral, his mom had said, we're not putting you on the program as a speaker because we don't know if you're going to make it. Because it was like plane, trains, and automobiles trying to get there. Yeah. I was changing in the Uber on the way to the funeral. And then I got there. And then when I got there, she had literally told the preacher, she was like, Gary's going to speak. And he had just said, hey, if anybody wants to say anything about Thomas, because there were some fans there and old teammates, they go, everybody gets 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. So I got up there and I immediately lost it. Like everything just came out the floodgates. And then when I gathered myself and looked at the preacher, I said, hey, this don't count against my 2 minutes. So it kind of lightened the room up a little bit. Right. But yeah, that goes a little deeper with me and Thomas' relationship. Sure. Just because of that season meant a lot to me. But probably Thomas.
Absolutely, man. He was damn good too when he was here, man. Like one of those linebackers that could do it all, He was good against the pass and good against the run. Hard to transition from that, but another reason for Burrow to watch Blazing Saddles, Teddy K's great uncle was in there apparently here, according to Chris Crowley.
It is great uncle. It is.
No, his great uncle was Alex Karras. Yes,
his uncle was Webster's
dad. I never put the 2 and 2 together.
Yes,
Teddy Karras and Alex Karras. Oh, I see you got his hat on.
Yeah.
I love this one too, man. The mid crown it's nice. It fits better than those original ones.
Yeah, he gave me a hat after the roast. I wore it on my last podcast. I wore it on my live podcast. He's such a personable guy.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's the best.
He come on the show. He's also an expert at office trivia, man. The guy killed it. Yeah. Chop had all these shit I had no idea about. I watched The Office like twice, but I didn't know any of this. and he just
really?
bam, bam, bam. Yeah. He said he watched it like over and over in New England, like when he first got there, because he was like fringe roster guy, practice squad. So he's like, I had nothing to do. I just watched The Office all the time.
Think about him. He plays with Brady and Burrow.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my God.
He's got the best career ever, right?
Yeah. Well, look at Orlando Brown. He's like Mahomes the Burrow.
Yeah.
You got guys that went from Baker Mayfield to Case Keenum.
Right.
Yeah. Poor Joe Thomas. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame, but man, that guy's quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
God, that Hall of Fame speech. Because I've like for more starting quarterbacks during my career than anybody else.
Didn't they say he had like 23 starting quarterbacks or some shit like that?
I think so.
Was it 23?
I don't know. You always see the picture of that jersey. And
Yeah.
the names to
And
it.
27 coaches probably.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I know, right?
And they'll have another one if they underperform this year. Is already out there. It's like Stefanski's coaching for his job. So, I want to get before we get you off here too. I won't keep you too much longer, but you got a record prediction for this year. I know last year it was 17-0. We fell a little short of that, but I figured
17-0.
then we're going to plow through the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. I take it.
Listen, if you are a real fan, you're not looking at games going, we're not going to win that one. I'm like this. How do you make a prediction and it's your team? And you're like, week 8, bro, we're coming off a road game. Like, no, I'm picking us every game. I don't.
It's fair.
If that ever, listen, it's almost like in my world, when you go to auditions, you hear 1,000 no's, but when you get that one yes for a part in a movie or TV show, it makes it worth it. I'm gonna pick 17-0 every year, and I'll probably be wrong. But if that ever comes true, it was so worth it. Told you.
Hey, and you know what? The last game it'll be Jake Browning beating the shit out of Cleveland because we'll put we're going to be resting Joe Burrow in the starters, so Jake Browning will come in there and smack him around.
Yep. Let's get some more. We need more of these NFC teams beating these top tier AFC teams.
Yes.
Do you guys do that? That's the only reason I was rooting for the Lions. Because you know the Chiefs will be there at the end. I was like, okay, we need this. This is like out of division, out of the conference. We need those.
What a great fucking day that was, man. Joe Burrow signs his contract and then the Chiefs lose, man. Fucking day couldn't got any better.
You ain't lying.
Unless I'd have got laid.
Hey, do you think the Chiefs? Remember how the Chiefs fans like, oh, we didn't need Orlando Brown anyway. We don't need him. I think after watching that game, they're like, I think they might want to rethink that after what happened Thursday night.
And how good is that Hutchinson from Detroit?
No shit,
good
man.
Lord.
Did you see they mic'd up his parents?
Yeah, that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
We were talking yesterday, like, if they're going to mic up parents, man, they need to mic up T. Higgins' mom.
T. Higgins' mom. She is the one. She has to be mic'd up. I'm telling you, NFL, you won't regret it.
That will
might not be able to play much of the footage, but you won't regret it.
Yes. You better get your finger on the beeping button.
Apparently, she said the F word on Bengal Jim's show last week, and she's all fired up because somebody got offended or something. She's just on there, and she's like, "I don't give a fuck. I'll say what I want."
This show's ready.
I told her she come on here, she drop all the F bombs. We don't.
That's right. She was apologizing. I immediately went on Twitter and I said, "You can come on our show and cuss. You can say the F bomb 4,326 times. We're good."
Yeah. Right.
We are not a kid-friendly show, unless you're my kids, because I never gave a fuck what my kids watched on TV. I didn't give a shit. My kids could watch the show, but probably none of my nieces or nephews either.
Right.
I still got to watch that back to the Strip movie. I couldn't find it. No theaters down here. I'm in Portsmouth, Ohio.
Oh, wasn't it? Man, we're in a different age with one. We're on strike right now, so we can't really promote it and. It was a independent movie, so the studio wasn't gonna put nothing behind it. There wasn't really a studio, and so we're in a weird age right now. Like if your movie don't hit within the first week, they pull it and you go to streaming.
Oh
immediately.
Shit.
So
is it on anything yet?
I haven't got a text. I'll tell you this. I know we made $17,000 in the Netherlands first weekend.
Boom!
All right.
Yeah.
That's it. Dale's 2 hours from the Netherlands.
Take that how you want it. But
no.
Yeah.
They know what's up.
In the Netherlands.
Now, do you have any other things that you've taped or it's coming out?
Well, we're gonna film my next special November 4th in San Jose. I'm still trying to figure out a title. I don't know. I'm going through a bunch. Like somebody ran. They said since they got a divorce, they said you should say "free at last." I said I don't know how that would go though. But I think I might just go "oops."
Yeah.
Oops kind of encapsulates everything. Like,
Yeah.
marriage, the divorce, the infidelity. It's like, oops.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on the T-Pain song too. You know, so I went to your show.
My
last
man,
year.
I know, my man. You got to come to a live show to hear that song. But my man
It's worth
not want releasing that. She's so worried my dad's gonna want to take legal action, and I'm like, if he does, I'll just take it down. But if I put it on TikTok, everybody will see it anyways. So I'll just take it down and be like, please repost this. Please repost this.
Yeah, somebody will record it and it'll be out there, and then there's
Yeah. Right? I know. I don't know. She does not want me to release that song. She does not want me to release it.
So, are you going to be back in Ohio anytime soon on tour? Or?
Yeah, I got So when the schedule comes out, I try to coordinate my schedule that I can make as many games as possible. So, the Monday night game, obviously, I'm going to that against the Rams, and then I'll be at the Funny Bone in December when we play Minnesota and Cincinnati, and then I have a Cleveland date in October. Hold on, let me see. I always tell you
we have to win this weekend.
Right.
We won't play them again before that date.
Cleveland is October 12th through the 15th is Cleveland. And then I know I got a Columbus date in November. And Columbus is November 9th through the 12th.
Yeah,
so yeah,
and if you guys is T-Robe still opening for you, or who's kind of opening for you lately?
He'll be on those Ohio shows, yeah.
I got those guys are great.
Yeah, I got 3 guys that rotate. I got a guy named Rob out of Phoenix, and then I got this young guy named Adam. He's funny. It's good to have young people around because it's like keeps you young.
Yeah.
So it's funny. So it's funny because I'm in a different spot, but he's still chasing women and can't believe we're going out. He goes, dude, we're going out? Dude, you got in for free.
He's just happy about everything, you know. He's just,
oh my God, he's just so happy on the wrist. It's cool to have young guys around because they're not in it for the money. They're not in it for the fame. They're just like, they're really just trying to like be on stage. It's all about the art. And then he's just so happy. He's just like, man, this is the best.
Life hasn't beat him down yet. It's time to come.
Yeah, it's like he's got a captive audience and they're crowded. And I don't, my fan base I think it's a pretty cool fan base. It's a mix of people, but everybody they're coming to have a good time, and you can pretty much get away with saying whatever you want, and they're polite because you talk to comedy club waitresses and managers, and they're I'm not gonna throw anybody on the bus, but it's the same like 4 or 5 comedians. They're like, oh, their fans don't tip. They complain about food. They go, and then they're the comedians kind of rude. They're like, there's some comedians, these clubs are like, oh my God, they just roll their eyes.
Not again. Yeah.
I always be like, man, I hope they don't talk about me when I leave. There comes Gary.
I mean, I absolutely loved T-Robe and then you both when we went to that show. And if you guys haven't seen Gary, anybody out there listening, you got to go. You got to at least go once and experience it. It's awesome. You won't regret it. I can promise you that. And tip your waitresses, damn
also, man, comedy clubs, man, you go there and I don't know if it's just the environment or whatever, but shit gets even funnier.
Yeah, it's so much different live. You're just into it. You're enjoying it. Drinks, have a couple drinks, enjoy yourself.
First time I went with my wife one time, it was the Funny Bone over there in Newport, and they took us in. It was the first time I ever went to a comedy club, and he sat us down like right here at the fucking stages right here, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I looked at my wife. She's like, do we want to sit here? And I'm like, fuck no, man. I don't want to sit. Get us up. I said, take us to the back. We're beginners.
God, that was back in the day, the Newport on the Levee.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I miss that club. Man, when I had first moved back to Cincinnati, me and Chad Johnson, we did a Tuesday night there. Because when I moved back to Cincy, I realized there's not a lot to do. So I knew why is that face?
He loves Chad, and he's
love
blocked
Chad,
on
and he
Twitter
blocked
from
me on
him,
Twitter.
and he don't know why, and it's a whole thing.
Oh.
Everybody that can help me out, I'm begging. Please tell Chad to unblock me on Twitter.
Oh, okay. I'll see what I can do.
Go ahead with your story, though.
But I had moved back to Cincy, and I realized I was like, man, there's nothing to do on Tuesdays out here. And I go, the players' off day is Tuesday. And I said, if I can get a comedy night and get some of the guys out, I go, then girls come out because they know the ball players are there. I go, then it just, man. So Chad would come every week. He just was a regular.
Wow.
And always sat in the back, or the same thing, cranberry juice and chicken fingers. And just laid back, man. And then I called him after it was a summer 2006. I called him. I say, Chad, I said, you coming every week? I said, let's have some fun with it. I said, you want to make it our night? And I'll call it Chad Johnson's Two Funny Tuesdays, hosted by Gary Owen. And this is a classic Chad. He was eating, and I can tell he had food in his mouth. He goes, yeah, let's do it. Not like, what do I get out of it? How much? Nothing. He was just like, yeah, let's do it. So then he took it to another level, because it went from Tuesday night cool. All of a sudden, it looked like he was at a game. Because I'd get there, if the show was at 8, I'd get there at 7, and the line was around the corner, and everybody had bingo gear on.
Yeah.
And it went from like a black night to a white night. Like all the white people started.
Yeah.
And he would give away tickets to games. He was just cool. But I saw two sides of people. I saw the good side, and then I saw the bad side, because what bothered me was Chad would give tickets to home game or road games, and we'd raffle them off, right?
Right.
And then road games, he'd get the airline tickets, he'd get the hotel room, and you get 2 tickets to the game, which is unheard of. So, of course, my night's going to be packed, because people think they're going to go to the game on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
It was a Cleveland game. He raffled off a couple tickets, and the next week, this freaking lady showed up and said, hey, we had to pay for a taxi to take us from the hotel to the game.
Get over yourself.
I was like, you got to be shitting me right now. Yeah. I said, you got her flight, hotel, and tickets, and that wasn't enough.
Oh my
God. I couldn't believe it. I was so taken back. I was so mad at that lady. You know?
Right.
I was like, how
did you say anything to her, or did you just play nice?
I said on stage. I talked about it on stage.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was in there.
Please don't come back.
Yeah, fuck
You're not
her.
welcome here. Yeah. I said, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Oh, it's so hot. I was mad. I mean, I was like, I didn't have nothing to do with it, and I was upset.
No, it's bullshit, though, man.
Yeah,
you know
there's always some people like that, and it runs up for other people. You know,
that's
the thing.
Right. Yeah,
well, we're going 17-0. We're winning the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Are
we partying with you out in Vegas, Gary? That's what I'm asking. Bengals and Brew, Gary Owens party in Vegas. Is that happening?
Man, he's getting in different spots than us, John. We ain't getting in those spots. He's like Joe
I'm probably staying at his friend's house.
I'm taking a shot here, Dale.
Huh? Well, there's 2 comedians that have houses in Vegas, Russell Peters and Lunell. And I was like, if they go, I'll probably be at one of their houses.
There you go.
Just in a spare bedroom. But it's crazy because we literally, I'm not lying, when the schedule comes out. What's that?
They got 2 spare bedrooms?
Right? Now I know why you're blocked.
Yep.
Right.
You're doing too much.
No,
now I'm blocked by Gary Owens too.
When the schedule comes out, literally my agent, we go through the whole, and now we got to go through January. Used to be we just went through the year. Now I'm like, what if we go to playoffs? Where am I at?
Right, yes.
And so I'm like, I'm not working Sundays, so I'm last year worked out for me because it was Sunday games, the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, there was years they played on Saturday. The Raiders game was a Saturday night. I couldn't go to that one. Tennessee I couldn't go. They were Saturday games. So, I mean, I was like, dude, I'm not working Sundays during the playoffs. And the bad part is, like, I usually do Charlotte Super Bowl weekend. And I'm in, but nobody works Super Bowl Sunday. That's like Christmas. Nobody does. But I'm always like, man, if they go like the LA Super Bowl, I just flew in Sunday. I wasn't able to like really enjoy the weekend.
Right.
So I'll probably just be coming in Sunday again. I don't get to enjoy all the festivities the week of, but that's the most important day.
We'll all be piled up like 10 of us in that $450 days in room.
You got to split it. Hey,
Yeah.
whatever works, man.
Yeah.
I want to win. I want the
That's all I
parade.
want.
I want it all. You know.
Yes.
I want the whole
You
experience.
ain't lying. You ain't lying. We got
It's a
the
good
team this
season
year.
for it.
Everybody's healthy.
I'll tell you, I know I'm biased, but I just can't imagine a city that would be filled with as much joy as Cincinnati if we won the a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This one might
Win.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah, they'd be awfully
Buffalo
fucking
might
happy
not-
too.
Yeah. There'll be people would die at Niagara Falls. There'd be people jumping.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's not getting better than this.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, were you at the Super Bowl when the Bengals were playing the Rams 2 years ago?
Yep. Yeah.
Dude, I was there too. Can you agree with me on this? Bengals fans totally outdid the Rams fans there. I mean, even when The Rock did the opening, like, say, can I hear the Rams fans? Can I hear the Bengals fans? He said Bengals fans by far sounded way louder than Rams fans. Easily. Am I right?
LA in general, any of those Southern California teams,
Yeah.
there's so much to do out there, and football
Right.
isn't
Mhm.
in your blood like that. They're like, we might go to the beach. I don't know, we might go get a latte today. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
West, Cincinnati,
Right.
that's all we got. We
Yes.
came
Yep.
out there like,
That's
"We've been waiting
it,
on this
man.
for 30 years. You must be crazy. Yeah, we definitely outnumbered. Yeah, Rams fans are like,
It's like,
we're like crying. It's our lifeblood.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, we dominated that Super Bowl for sure as far as fan base.
yes, we did.
Yeah, until the refs started dominating. That, you know what, man? The thing is, like, they let shit go on both teams the whole time. In the last 2 minutes of the game, they said we're going to start calling play things. The fuck, man?
Yeah, that Logan Wilson call, that hurt.
Yeah.
58 minutes they let shit go. You know, did T hold Jalen Ramsey? Hell yeah, he did. But he got away with that, and they got away with some. And in the last 2 minutes of the game, they decided to start calling shit. It's horse shit.
I know. You ain't lying.
Fuckers.
That's all right. We got this one.
We got this.
That's
one. I
right.
feel good about it.
And the next year's destiny, because, you know, next year where the Super Bowl is, you can tell your manager to make sure you're down in New Orleans for the Super Bowl next year because it's at the Superdome. And what does Joe Burrow do in the Superdome? He fucking wins championships in the Superdome.
Man, I didn't know it was in New Orleans next year.
Yep.
So we're going to get it this year in Vegas, next year in Louisiana.
Sounds good to me.
I didn't know that.
Hey,
That's
Gary,
destiny right there, right?
Yep.
appreciate your time, man. Gonna let you off here. Have good shows this weekend, and maybe we'll see you around at the stadium. You know, just
That's
walking
right.
around the corners in there.
All right, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah,
Hey,
thanks for
everybody.
coming on, Gary. Appreciate it,
All right,
man.
man. Take care.
good day.
Bye.